But we do have some disagreements from the border to the north. A lot of them portray the Coyotes as a very dysfunctional franchise, in immediate need to be relocated to Houston. Let's see. There's just so much more. What is your general feeling about the Coyotes? I know that you just said that you do love the Coyotes, so there might be some bias there. But how do you feel the Coyotes are portrayed in your market, your media, and whatnot?
Hey, so Richard, that's a great question. So there's it's a lengthier answer. I'm going to touch on a few points.
Okay.
Obviously, want to shout out my buds, the Leafs, give them some love in a minute. But let's start with that first question you asked me, and then get to the point about the Leafs and the Flames. I'll start like this. I believe that the Arizona Coyotes deserve to stay in Arizona for
Okay.
numerous reasons, and it fundamentally starts off with the small market. We spoke about this briefly right before we went live. Gary Bettman, to me, is not someone that I'm in love with as a commissioner of the NHL. I don't love that. I don't love him as a commissioner. So it's funny you're saying that. I actually think Gary Bettman does not like Canadian teams. He dislikes, because he knows how successful the NHL is there. He doesn't feel a need to invest as much as he should, because of the 40 million people in Canada, everybody loves hockey and everyone adores their teams. If you're from Saskatchewan, you might go for Calgary, Edmonton. You know, like geographically, it doesn't matter where you're from. If your province doesn't have a team, you still love the team next door. You know, like
Mhm.
Ontario is a huge province, right? Just for those viewers in the states that aren't familiar, a province is similar to a state. Just Canada has 10 provinces, and it's a much more land. But to Ontario, I live in Toronto, right? You can drive 6 hours, 7 hours north, still be in Ontario, and you'll find diehard Leafs fans 6, 7 hours away. So Gary feels that he doesn't have to invest the game as much as he does in the States, which he's right. But at the end of the day, like, you're loyal fans, you got to give them more love. Like, like, I think the draft in Montreal, I'm sure we'll touch on it later, and I just want to start with that. Like, that's something that was amazing. Like, that was an amazing event for hockey. Like, it was good to see hockey back in the center of the hockey universe between Toronto and Montreal. And you see, like, these smaller markets, as they're so called, like Calgary and Edmonton and Winnipeg, specifically those three. I'll get to Ottawa in a minute, and I know you want to touch on it later. Like, these guys, like, they're yes, they're small markets. They're sold out every night. These players walking the streets, they're adored, they're loved. So that's what I want. That's the first thing I wanted to bring out, is that, like, I think from Gary does great things. Gary does not great things. One of the not great things he does is show the Canadian people some love. That's why they always want to fire him, and that's what they always, because it started when the booing started. I read this. I can't from this, but I believe the booing started of the Stanley Cup ceremony in 1993 when the Habs won, the last Canadian team to win a cup. I believe that's when it was. So it's just funny it started then, and it's gone all the way till now with the drafts and everything. It all started from the Canadian teams, because there is some frustration. And yeah, but regarding the Arizona point, so Gary Bettman he has some amazing qualities as a commissioner, as a leader, and one of them being is recognizing the potential for a small market team to blossom into a big market. There's many examples. You can look at Nashville. When Nashville is rocking now, players want to play there. Vegas is an obvious answer to that. Seattle is an answer that's going to be coming over the next few years. Teams like Dallas, right? I do think there should be another team in Texas. I think there's too big of a market there. The population's too big to not have a second hockey team there, especially when you look at other sports like baseball, where you have the Stros, where you have the Rangers, where you look at football, where you have the Texans, and you have the Cowboys, and you look at basketball, you have the basketball, actually, right? But my point
Mhm.
being is that, like, in basketball, you have the Rockets and the Mavericks, right? Like, hockey's the only sport, and the sport that needs the most, because hockey, their whole identity is they want to grow more in the States. They want USA Hockey to be a bigger thing, as good as it getting. By the way, we'll get to that too, I'm sure, later. So that being said, I believe that having Arizona stay there and letting them blossom into what they become with the good ownership that they just brought in. I will talk about Marulo later. He's a great owner. You can tell already the fundamental things that he's doing for his players and his team, and bringing leadership like Billy Armstrong. And I think that's a huge thing. And I think this new arena, we're all praying that it gets done. We're all praying that it gets approved, because it could be something really special. Like the whole district of Tempe. I'm not geographically, I don't know Arizona so well because I've never been there. I've seen many pictures. I have a couple of good friends that live there. And it looks like the potential is there. And the fans are there. Guys like you, the fans are there. So I really, really believe that the NHL, should they move to Houston? No, obviously not. Should they bring a team in? Should they expand to 34? I think 34 will be the max to expand to. I think Quebec City deserves a team, and I think Houston deserves a team, and you stop it there and let the NHL thrive. That's where I think you stop at. Will that come down the road? We'll see. When Gary's done, Gary's already, I think, 72 years old or something. So I don't know what he's got left in the tank, lower 70s. So that's what I think. I think Houston deserves a team. I think Quebec City deserves a team. We can talk about that later if you guys want. I'm sorry for the lengthy answer, but that's how I feel.
No, it's a great answer. I really appreciate
Great
it.
answer,
Yeah.
honestly.
I'm gonna toss it over to you, Matt. Do you have any questions or?
Well, I really wanted to just I have to get a little bit of hate in here because as much as I loved your arguments, I honestly don't inherently disagree with any of the logic or anything like that. F Quebec and F Houston because the amount of their fans that have harassed us, I don't
But
want them to get
Hey,
teams for
so
a reason.
hey, Matt. No, so you just, I get what you're saying for sure, but I just want you to understand, nothing to do with the Yotes. The Yotes are staying. Every petition I see, I sign, and I'm not from there, and I always get like every petition. The
You get
Tempe's, I'm
cooler,
signing
you know
everything.
about it,
I'm an
man.
American
You get
citizen.
cooler.
I'm an American citizen, so I. No, but real talk, like I just think if you're talking from a marketing standpoint, I think those
yeah,
two cities
Yeah.
as expansion franchises would really benefit the NHL. And as a Leaf fan, I just pray and pray every year that the cap could just go to where it was supposed to be. Well, I'll touch on that. Well, again, we'll touch on that, I'm sure, a little bit later about Kyle Dubas. I want to talk about that a little bit. But regarding the Yotes, like that new arena looks beautiful. They want to add a practice facility to that. They want to have concerts there. They want to build residential buildings. They want to. I'm not, again. I'm not 100%. It's 13 with everything just because geographically I don't know Arizona as well. But they want to redo the lake or something there to make it beautiful. Like that's what a vibe that'll
potentially.
be. What a city that place will be popping, right? Like that'll be amazing if they redo that lake. The lakefront, the malls, the residential suites, everything, the jobs they want to create, the energy they want to produce. Like that, to me, it's a no brainer that thing gets through. I don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, the only one downside is the traffic, and I'm pretty sure with a couple of years of planning, they can find a solution. I don't know how
Exactly.
great the solution would be, but I just know that if everyone wants to get it done, and I'll just go ahead and say it right here, same thing with any other business venture. If the party that wants to build on the land is willing to invest a little more, I guarantee a solution could be found there.
Right. And I don't want to hear that BS from the airport. That was ridiculous from Sky Harbor.
Plus, just
Yes.
get rid of the residential, and Sky Harbor can't really complain anymore. From what I
Yeah.
understand of their arguments, it was this and this about residential and that and whatever. I'm like, okay, so just cut that because like hotels, you can still have those on there. It's not considered residential. There's different regulations, but I'm like, okay, just get rid of the luxury apartments or whatever, and put something
Exactly.
like community driven. Just I would do it cynically just to appease the council, but at the same time, if it benefits more people, hey, that's good no matter what.
Well, the problem with that is that the RFP, which is what they wanted to do with the land, they purposely wanted to put high density residential there. So I don't think Tempe wants to concede on that point, regardless. I think they want it, and to be honest, if this turns messy and goes to lawyers, Sky Harbor's only going to lose because they signed the documents that Tempe is following, and by those documents, Tempe has all rights to put that high density residential there. Low density,
Exactly.
no.
Exactly. Right. So also, I think the other thing, I think Matt, you were saying regarding Sky Harbor. I don't want to go too into this. I feel bad for the viewers. I don't know how familiar everyone is. You guys, let me know when to stop on when it comes to the Sky Harbor stuff because I know it's a complicated piece. But I know that the politicians there and the people in the political people in Tempe want the residential buildings because they want more people. So I think the Coyotes are on the same page because the Coyotes, the conveniences for fans, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just like in Ottawa, where you have, again, I know I'm not sure how familiar you guys are with with Canada geographically, but in Ottawa, right, like the Canadian Tire Center, it's outside downtown Ottawa. It's outside.
Yeah.
It's out. It's not in. It's in a city called Canada. So too in Glendale. We could talk about Craig Morgan. I think he's the best. Like he's literally the best beat writer in all sports. Like how he covers the team and he's friendly with fans and he answers questions. He always talks about the 40-minute drive, the 45-minute drive he has to take. By the way, shout out to the Phoenix Coyotes podcast as well. Yeah, if you want to shout out, there's one. But he always talks about that drive he has to take to Gila River Arena. Like it's 40 minutes, 45 minutes. And yeah, when a team stinks and the market isn't huge and you have, and people are excited about the Cardinals and the Suns, yeah, you're not gonna have a lot of fans when it's so inconvenient to go to games. Yeah, right. So like that's gonna be right, just yeah, like young, like young college students and young people. Like they're gonna all. It's a lively neighborhood with concerts. It's gonna attract a lot of people and a beach. Like that's gonna be amazing. So I think the conveniences of being in Tempe will be amazing. And really, like just to finish this topic up, to really summarize it is, you move somewhere convenient. You move somewhere attractive. You build residential buildings. You redo this lake. I think they want to put a couple malls in. Correct me if I'm.
I got a big mall over in
That's
Tempe.
just gonna be amazing. Like it checks every box. And I saw the new arena. There you go. There you go. And it's a young up and coming city, right? It is. It's a young people's and fun. It's a fun city, right? Am I wrong?
Yes.
Yeah, it's really fun, especially like Mill Ave. If you're into the drinking scene, not sponsored, could be. I know, Richard, I'm learning from you.
Not a
But
sponsor, but could be.
it's a fun drinking down there.
Yeah. I'm going to tie up a couple of loose ends here that I'm just kind of keeping a mental check of. So we talked shortly about traffic issues with the arena. For those who are old time fans like myself, the traffic situation in Glendale was not very great either. There used to not be Cardinals Way for all the Arizona fans here. Cardinals Way was an HOV exit that you could take, and that'll take you right between both arenas. That wasn't there, so all the traffic flooded in from the north or the south, and it was just gridlock for years and years and years until they put that new extension in. And funny enough, now it's actually not so bad when you leave the arena, but they're not going to be going back to that. So the traffic situation will work itself out with more time. The other one that you were bringing up was the lake extension. That is still unconfirmed. So essentially, the lake is just a giant lock. It's just, a box that they filled up with water. They would have to put a new dam at the end and then fill it and then destroy the old dam, or just leave it. I don't know what they'll do with that, but that would be really cool if they did do that. That's probably just a big overtaking. And the other problem being that Arizona is kind of a drought right now, so we are kind of running thin on water. The big places that we get our water from have been going down significantly, so I don't know how much people are going to be backed up with let's put water as a lake and call it good. So we'll see. I'm cautious, but I'm optimistic about extending the lake.
Right.
I mean, it's funny you say that because we've had almost no rain for 2 years, and then now the last 2 weeks has just been constant punishment from the thunder gods over here.
Yeah.
Like I'll tell you, like I just think water makes things beautiful, like a nice lake,
Yes.
a nice like I don't know if you guys are familiar with AT&T Park, where the Giants play. That right field, like they're surrounded, they're on the
Yeah.
Yeah, they're right there on that lakeside.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. They're on that lakeside on the bay. It's beautiful. Like that is really really nice. You can't talk about beautiful ballparks without talking about PNC Park, where the Pirates play. Like again, on the lake, right by the bridge. Like it's just beautiful. So the Yotes in Tempe, like that will be with a revised lake plan. Like that can be something really special. And again, it can maybe revamp all the league's expectations of a beautiful new arena. So just like you said, Richard, just being cautiously optimistic. I think that's the right way to take it.